let's dive into Budo a bit deeper. And you have a collective style of martial art called Jissen Kobudo. So, what is Jissen Kobudo?
Yeah, Jisen meaning like realistic fight, uh, more realistic. Kobudo, as we already talked about, is more like the classical martial arts, the traditional martial arts. And it gets really interesting sometimes when I travel to Japan. I have to carry certain tools depending on what the topic is going to be that we're going to be studying. I'll go there 2 times a year. And every time I go through customs, I have a fukuro shinai, like the padded sword. Unlike the kendo shinai, which I'm sure many of your listeners are familiar with, where it's like this split bamboo,
Hmm.
and it's used for hitting and striking, and not breaking bones or doing a lot of damage. However, a shinai will really hurt if it hits you. However, it's not meant to break bones underneath protective armor. A Fukuro Shinai, however, has a bit like a leather sleeve to the split bamboo, and we don't wear protective armor. And carrying this through customs, when when they look at my bags, they say, "What is this?" And I say, "It's a Shinai." And they say, "Oh, they're kendo." Like, no. I say, "Here we go, here we go." I say Kobudo, and they're like, "Oh, Kobudo." And I'm like, "Yeah, Kobudo." And they're like, "What kind of Kobudo?" And I say Jissen Kobudo. And I can only imagine US Customs having a group of Japanese people coming over to study civil or like Revolutionary War trench fighting. Like, it's kind of like, I can't imagine the mindset that they must think when we study this, but that's really what it is. It is very much the study of true applications of battle, where it's not so much the sport, or like Morie Ueshiba, O sensei of Aikido, created very much while retaining much of the origins of the Daito Ryu that he had learned from his teachers, and having at the time a quite combative art that he had developed. He implemented deep spiritual dimensions to it, where Jigoro Kano really wanted to move Japan forward into Western athletics, and knew that the Takenoichi Ryu, the Kito Ryu, these old schools of these Koryu of jujitsu would be very beneficial if modified into a sport, and would also be great for the physical fitness program of Japanese youth. So there's these new dimensions that were brought into the old arts, and much of the actual combative, like the biomechanics of lacerations, and when you cut the shoulder here versus here, what are the difference?
Uh,
Well, these are the things that are written and recorded in many of the densho, or the scrolls, or the old writings of these old schools. So a lot of that has been removed, and kendo, aikido, judo were made as we came into the modern era, where what I study, that information is still retained, and it's a very important part of what we do.